Hi, my name is Robert. I'm a registered nurse, and thank you for watching my presentation on what to place on the envelope of your loved one's medical history papers, things you would want paramedics and fire rescue to see instantly. Now, I did some teaching of this last year at the local libraries. In the past, I did a podcast. I even wrote about this several years back. But this next part is new, and I thought it would be important to bring across. Basically, the scenario I always thought in my mind and always used is that your loved one didn't live with you. They were, say, found unconscious by a neighbor, and paramedic fire rescue, they were taking your loved one to the hospital. But in this situation, this scenario, you're actually there. So if you're, say, you're going to follow them to the hospital, if you're unable to follow them to the hospital, say you have young ones, young children to look after, or another elderly loved one to watch over, this is something that could be hopefully helpful. So when paramedics fire rescue get there, this could be a little bit chaotic. They're going to be asking questions, you're going to be answering as much, but they want to basically get your loved one on the stretcher into the ambulance and get them to the hospital as soon as possible because time is important. So what I would say is before they leave, you want to get the name of the hospital, but not just the name, the street address. Because in a county, there could be 4 hospitals and they're all related. So you want to make sure you have the direct one. Because if they don't give you the phone number, and if you look it up, you want, oh yes, this matches the street address they gave me. Now this next part, again, you just want to keep it nice and even and calm. I'd recommend writing out everything I'm going to say first before you call. But what you're going to do is you're going to call their main number, and you're going to be asked to transfer over to the emergency department. Now, even if you say emergency room, that's a more older term to use, or if it's a smaller hospital, still might be called an emergency room. But I'm sure if you say emergency department, emergency room, they'll transfer you over. Now, the person who you get might be a unit secretary, the person who's manning the phones, but what you want to say, and I'll use me as an example. Uh, my name is Robert. I just wanted to let you know that paramedics, they just picked up my dad and they're taking him to your hospital. I wonder if I could speak to a nurse to give out a little bit more information about my dad before he arrives. What person would say no to that? So they're going to transfer you to a nurse. The important thing is while you're talking to a nurse, again, nice, calm voice, is you want to keep it short. You don't know what's happening back there, and you want to just get right to the point. You want to be respectful that they're on the phone with you. They might have several other things they're looking at, people are looking at. So this, right to the point. So when a nurse gets on the phone, you want to kind of repeat sort of like what you just said. Hi, my name is Robert. I just want to let you know paramedics just picked up my dad. They're taking him to your hospital. And I was wondering if I can give a little bit more information about my dad before he arrives. Again, who would say no to that? So if she says, and you always want to say after, I'm sorry to include that, you always say, would that be okay? So at that part, you would say, would that be okay? And giving them the chance to say yes. And once they do, this is what you want to say. You want to give your dad's full name. You want to give your dad's date of birth, and you want to say, give him the reason. Well, the reason he's coming in is I noticed at what time. The time is very important because it helps establish what was going on. So he said, well, the reason he's coming in today, because I noticed at 8:30 this morning, he started to have some garbled speech, and it looked like the left side of his face started drooping. He had a hard time moving his arm. That could be signs of a stroke. So it's good you're telling them what time. Or I noticed that at 8:30 he started to complain of chest pain and it didn't seem to go away. Or he was in the kitchen and he slipped and fell onto his left hip and he said it continued to hurt him. So you're not just giving him a reason why, but you gave him when it occurred. The reason you're stating his full name, date of birth, and the reason, because you've given this to the paramedics and all, is that there could be several ambulances coming in the back entrance, and you want to make sure this nurse is matching up with your loved one. The next thing you could say is that I do want to let you know that before the paramedics left, I gave him my dad's medical history envelope. Inside that is a list of his current medical history and the medications he takes on a routine basis. Very important. They can grab a lot of stuff from that. They didn't have that before. Now, this is what I like about the medications, is you're going to say to them, and this is very important, again, you're keeping everything short. My dad, he tends to get up early. So at 8 o'clock, you'll see the list of medications listed. It seems like he was able to take his medications before this occurred. Great. Or my dad usually doesn't take his meds, starts taking meds till 9, but this started to happen at 8:30. So he wasn't able to take his medications. That's fantastic that they know what he took or what he wasn't able to take that morning. The next thing is food and drink. So you can say, well, he got up early, he gets up, he usually eats around 8. I saw a half a plate of pancakes and eggs, and he drank his caffeinated coffee and orange juice this morning. Or you could say, well, my dad usually doesn't start, make breakfast till 9. I noticed this was before that, so I don't think he had anything to eat or drink this morning. I think the last time he did was before 9 o'clock last night before he went to bed. Really, really important, because they need to take your loved one to surgery or do a procedure. It's really important they know the last time he ate and drank and what he did. The next part is that if they're taking them to a hospital that's not listed, what he normally goes to, you can say, if you look at the front of the envelope, you can see the hospital and the address he normally goes to. If you want, you can let the doctors know, because you want to let them know when the last time he was there, So you would say that, well, the last time he was there was about 4 months ago and he had this procedure. You can say, well, if you need to, you let the doctors know. I'm sure they can call over to that hospital and get any additional information they might need on my dad that can be helpful. Really good, because you're handing them a medical history paper. This can tell them a lot more and all. The last thing you might want to say is that I'm not going to be able to go. I mean, I have small children here I look after, and I have my elderly mom as well. But my sister is on the way, and her name is. So they know a family member is on the way. And then you can say, well, my name is, and this is my phone number. And please let the doctor know if they have any more questions about my dad. They can call me. That's not a problem. And you can say, also, can you do me a favor? When my dad gets there and once he's settled in, can you please give me a call and let me know he's okay? Yeah, you just asked a great question. And you want to say, and your name is, and you want to write it down and say, Julie, hey, thanks for everything you do, and very much appreciative, and please take care of my dad. So these are some last things. You keep it short, keep it to the point. You're giving them information very much, but you also, you made a connection with this nurse who, once your dad's settled, hopefully will give you a call. The other thing I would recommend, that if another family member is going there, you want to tell them that when they're done with your loved one's medical history papers and the medication list, to give it back to them. Okay, so your sister can return it to you. Now, something I used to teach when I did, I oversaw carriers on the side, is I would tell family members, like I said, in the scenario, usually your loved one doesn't live with you, but I would always say, if that's what it is occurring, you could always have a copy of their medical history papers and the medications they have. But I used to tell the carriers, the families that tell the carriers, that a lot of times, well, the carriers I oversaw were mostly like daytime companions, and they would take them to doctor's appointments, but they would also take them to activities and out to eat. I would tell them to keep a copy of that medical history paper in their, say, the trunk of their car with a first aid kit. So if something happened, they have that. But I used to always tell family members to bring that first aid kit into the doctor if they're going with them to see their loved one's primary doctor, and just open the first aid kit and say, hey, how does this look? Or how do I use this, if you had questions? Or is there anything else we could add? And they can go, yeah, that would be, here's something. And a lot of times they might give you something to add to it. So this wasn't part of my original teaching, but I thought it would be kind of nice to add this. And again, thank you for watching, and I hope you and your family will find this of use. And again, thank you very much.